everybody. Welcome to the Microsoft 365 Pulse. We have a full team here today, and a small list of updates. But let's go with Tamara. Tamara, do you want to tell us something you like that's in development?
Sure. Copilot, Copilot, Copilot.
They did get some love this time.
So Copilot got some love. So Copilot for Word, customize Copilot in Word responses with personalization profiles. So personalization profiles allows users to customize the way Copilot responds to their prompts. It considers users' preference, interests, and other information to give users a more personalized experience. I imagine this as filling out like a dating application. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Oh, I love that movie.
And then current web content included when drafting with Copilot in Word. So draft with Copilot will include information from Bing search, resulting in its content that's as current as what you would find when searching with Bing on the web. So those are the two that I'm most interested in. And they're both in development, and they're coming out. First one's coming out in July, so that's right around the corner. And then the second one, the web content, is coming out in September.
Well, I found one, Copilot again, that I liked for December of this year, and that was scheduled prompts.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting because if we're doing repeat prompts and different things like that, I thought that was really interesting. So it's going to allow you to plan ahead by scheduling essential prompts for repeated tasks in Copilot chat. So I may come in every morning and ask the same prompt. And so being able to schedule it ahead of time or something like that could be a very interesting thing. So I think I'll be watching to see where that one comes. And then an automatic summary of documents on file open in Word. I like the automatic summaries, like just where I've seen them in real life. Let's talk about Jen in real life. So on Amazon, if you go to reviews and you go to look at reviews, there's actually a roll-up of a summary of all of the reviews. So people say this about it. People tend to say this. And then you can scroll down and see all of them. In LinkedIn, it kind of does the same thing in a couple of different spots. If you go, and I think in Facebook comments, it does it now too. Like when you get to view all the comments, there's like a summary there. So I actually do find that pretty helpful to find out if I'm in the right spot or if I want to be in that document. So I think those two are pretty interesting. One's coming in August or slated to come in August. We'll see. And then the other one, December. So those are my two. And I think that leaves a couple, Tom. We at least left a couple for you.
Yes, you did. One, which I did have flagged because you took all my other flagged Copilot ones. So the Excel preview and apply, quote unquote, changes suggested by Copilot. And I really like this one. Previously, when a user asked Copilot to make changes to their table data, Copilot would make the changes directly. Hey, do this. Boom, you've got it. But it may not be what you wanted. Now, Copilot will respond with the description of the plan changed along with a button to apply. And users can choose to refine before applying. This provides users more awareness and control over Copilot changes. I've had a couple of really cool things with Copilot, not that I've used it, but the person who's running the pilot was doing that. And we asked one of the spreadsheets, hey, can you give us this? And much to my surprise, it did. But if it had just gone boom and done it, it would have, no, that's not what we want. We need to get back now. So I like the fact that you'll be able to have an option to say, hey, tell me what you're going to do before you do it. And let me decide whether or not that's exactly what I wanted, even though that's what I asked for. So.
Like that. Do you have any others or you want to pass it to Adam?
I'll just throw out one more because Adam will go for the geeky. Very last one on our list for in development was Org Explorer for Outlook for Mac. Org Explorer for Outlook helps you to visualize and explore your company's internal structure, work teams, and individual roles. This feature will now also be available for Outlook in Mac. This is provided you have a good Active Directory environment with proper data, But the fact that you can now do that in Mac will be a really cool thing.
Cool. How about you, Adam? What do you like about in development?
Not too many things. There's a couple nerdy things. I won't go into too many. There's a couple Intune things, but they're kind of so nerdy they don't super matter. There was two kind of lower hanging fruit ones that I thought were kind of interesting and actually applies to something I've directly had with a user. So they both have to deal with how Microsoft Defender for 365 works, which is basically Microsoft Defender for 365 is what used to be called Exchange Protection. It's how you go through and dictate what you're doing with your email. Well, right now, if Microsoft is worried an email may be phishing, they basically supersede your privileges as an admin and the chance that they're protecting the user. So even if you have an allow list saying, okay, I always want to get mail from person X, if Microsoft filters think, hey, there may be phishing going on in this email, they would quarantine the message and not deliver it to the inbox. Now, if this is actually a phishing attempt, this is a good thing, right? Because it's protecting your users. But if it's ever a false positive, as I'm sure you can imagine, this creates quite a bit of frustration for the users who are trying to receive the email, as well as the admins who are trying to go through and manage them. And I had this exact scenario with one of my clients. They had a friend that was emailing them, but there was something in their email that Microsoft was suspecting of phishing, and their messages kept getting blocked by 365, regardless of what we did, going through and putting the user in the allow list and stuff like that, which was trying to email to one of my client's CEOs. So as I'm sure you can imagine, having his friend's email routinely blocked by his spam filter when nothing bad was happening. Basically, there's now new updates that's going to allow you to supersede the declaration of potential phishing by Microsoft. So be able to say, I have added these users to the allow list, or I've added these users to the block list. Specifically, if they're in the allow list, I don't care if you think there's potential phishing, still deliver the message. Whether or not this is a good thing, you can argue. If like that person got compromised and actually sent a phishing email, it could be bad. But in situations like this, the client CEO's opinion is basically, look, I know how to look for email. I want the messages from my friend. In this case, we can basically go through and choose to supersede and deliver them, which would directly solve this problem. So kind of cool to see it there, and kind of something that's nice to go in. Whether or not the average customer or average user should be using this is probably more of an open debate, but still a neat feature.
Cool. Anyone else have anything in development that they want to chat through?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, how about rolling out? Tamara, why don't you roll us out?
Sure. Microsoft Teams channel cards. So channel cards will provide you a quick overview of key information about what's happening within the channel, including who is in the channel and the purpose of the channel. Now, this is only if people fill that information in, like the purpose of the channel, the description of the channel. You actually got to do some effort and put it in there. Now that's coming out.
Copilot can do it for us. It will put the summary of the team in there, right?
Copilot will become our benevolent dictator.
There you go.
The good news is it's coming out in July for everybody worldwide, GCC, GCC High, and DoD.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got one. It's not coming out to all, though. It's just coming out to the worldwide tenant. And it's Microsoft Forms. And so this is when you have open-ended text fields, but you want to say, give me a phone number. Well, it's a text field. You can say, put it in this format or throw an error. So that feature is coming. And I think it'll be interesting to see, if there's certain rules or something like that. I'm guessing they're going to maybe have standards for the most popular things you would do. But you're going to be able to put validation on those forms to make sure if you get on a free-form text field, they're still giving you what you want with either keywords or formats or different things like that.
I'm really
How about you, Tom? You got anything? Huh?
I said I'm really looking forward to that one, actually. I think that'll be really cool. Microsoft Teams, transfer Teams calls to mobile calls. So when you're using Teams on mobile phones, users can now transfer their ongoing team calls to the phone's native dialer without any disruption or loss of context. This is really good if you're, on a call, it's running long, you really need to go run an errand, you've got your phone with you, you've got Teams on it. Hey, transfer it, and it's going to have a seamless transfer basically. So you can now go and run your errand or go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. and you're not actually going to have to drop the call and re-add. So I think that's really cool. That's coming out this month and will be for worldwide and GCC.
Yeah, I actually really like this one too. I will 100% actually use this. Right now, I get internet from my cell phone provider, so technically speaking, I can take Teams calls on my internet. But if you're doing that while you're driving and you're switching cell phone towers, the quality is not great.
Yeah.
So 100% the quality will be better on a actual mobile network. And so up until now, if I've ever had to do that, or sometimes I've actually taken Teams calls on my phone while I'm out driving, it'd be better if on my cell phone, but I don't necessarily want to just give my cell phone to all of my customers. So having the ability to transfer this in the future is actually kind of cool and something I'm sure I will definitely use.
Very cool.
Cool.
I can do
have
two.
anything else? Yeah.
I can do two nerdy ones just because they're fun. I don't necessarily plan on using either one, but I think they're cool, so I'm going to talk about them. So one, we've talked about it a little bit. They actually had a new update in the Microsoft compliance portal related to data loss protection for endpoints. They're basically going to start doing OCR for Macs. OCR is optical character recognition. What that basically is a technology Microsoft developed to be able to interpret information from pictures. So think about, I have a whiteboard of data or a chalkboard of data, and I take a picture of it. It can go through and read the text and understand what's in there. That's going to become natively as part of DLP to images that are incorporated in documents and Macs. Sometime that's worked on Windows, but it has always been a disproportionate thing that it didn't work in Macs. They've got it working. So it's kind of cool that that's coming through and something they're going to do. And then the other one I think is actually interesting too. And I think it's showing some of the ways that AI and Copilot are going to start to enhance other features of Microsoft that make it very cool. Now, again, I do not use these at all. I just think the technology and what they're doing is cool. So Teams Room devices, if you don't know what this is, if you have Teams Room devices, they're devices that are designed to go in like conference rooms for organizations that are supposed to have more than just like a basic, I have a webcam and I've joined the meeting. It can do stuff like intelligence, like turn and look at the speaker and do various things like that. Well, they're going to actually start combining that with some pretty cool features of Copilot, where they're going to now start doing intelligent speaker recognition. And what this is going to do is, as you're going through and having a conference call, let's say we're in a conference call where we have only 8 people sitting around a table, it will actually start to build what it considers a unique voice profile for each user using artificial intelligence to build out clues of who is who. And by doing this, like doing things like, oh, that sounds like a male voice and that might be a male, all the way to, okay, well, someone asked Jennifer a question and then someone started speaking up, that's probably Jennifer. It will actually use AI to interpret that and build out voice profiles. So then while you're in the call and in the meeting recap afterwards, if you have Teams Premium, they'll be able to identify, oh, the person in the conference call speaking was Jennifer, so Jennifer said this. So rather than just being a raw transcript of, well, one of 8 people in a conference room said this, we'll actually use artificial intelligence to build out clues from the meeting and the conversation going on to identify who in the room is doing it. Again, specific to Teams devices, so probably this is only going to impact, the larger organizations that have the money to spend on devices like this. But I still think it's a cool representation of how AI is starting to seep in some of the other technologies and things that exist for Microsoft to add enhancements in ways that they didn't exist before. It's just cool.
So I must admit, Adam, when you said intelligent speaker recognition, I was thinking, oh, here's your speaker, intelligent speaker, not such
Dumb
an intelligent speaker.
Monkey speaker.
No.
AI gone too far.
Oh.
All right, well, that takes us. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There was one more in development, or not in development, in rolling out that I was interested in, and that's because I do a lot of webinars. And being able to do the webinar presenter and put them in the order that they're going to present in, that's rolling out. So users can now customize the list of presenters in the webinar event page via drag and drop functionality. And this option can be found under presenter bio section of the webinar setup dialog box.
I guess with that not being there, you'd probably end up deleting and re-adding presenters all the time to get them in the right order.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's just GCC and worldwide, so I'll be over here holding my breath.
I wouldn't recommend that.
I so hope that becomes the thumbnail for this particular call. Oh, I so want that to be the thumbnail.
Oh, too funny. All right, well, I think that takes us through rolling out, and we just have one in launch, and that's the Purview Compliance Portal, Communication Compliance Reporting Improvements. So you get some improvements in your reports. Item counts and actions on the items matched in a specific date range. I don't think that's very exciting, but it's launched.
You got it.
And then there's nothing else. So they didn't cancel anything this month. That's good. And we'll see. I bet you next week we're going to get to rolling out. And all of those ones that say July will probably just roll into launched and we'll repeat them. But that's it, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.